Boy.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to our Total Traffic and Conversion broadcast today. And our topic today is going to be creative campaigns for niche markets. And we're going to have an interesting discussion here. I'm here with Betty Withrow and Bill Chalmers, and soon we're going to have Esther Sarlo on here. But right now, let's have Bill. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience here?
Okay. I'm a business. Sorry, I can go ahead. Okay. Yep. I'm a business coach. Have been since 1969. Love the premise of helping others get to where they want to go. What are their goals? How does that need to unfold? And so I've done that, as I said, since 69. Still doing it, loving it. I've been a speaker all over the world in a bunch of different contexts, 17 different industries, governments as well, and love searching for a way to be more effective, not about efficiency. Peter Drucker said doing something efficiently that shouldn't be done at all is a waste of time. So how can we be more effective at what we're doing, even when, like in today's world, it's kind of in a bit of a breakdown. And I think in some ways we've kind of lost our way. And I love helping figure out ways to get both back on track and maybe, as Robert Frost said, take a new path, find a new way. So that's kind of the essence of what I do. I do art, but my business and teaching and training has been a bulk of my how I use my resources over the course of my life.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So, Esther, would you know this Bill character somewhat here? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Esther. Bill is my partner, and I wear these blue light blockers. So, and I have a company called Mind Myself, and it's all about complementary, holistic, and integrative health, helping women everywhere. Men are welcome too, but it's specifically designed for women, helping women everywhere feel seen and heard and supported as they're asking their health questions and as they're trying to find great practitioners who can help them. The idea is to cultivate unity in a time of divisiveness. So, and I, as Bill's partner, this is one of his paintings behind me. Sorry, we're opposite here. And that's one of my favorite ones. And so I get to live in this beautiful art with Bill.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And Betty, you want to say a bit about yourself? I for our new listeners.
Sure, Greg. I'm Betty Withrow, and I'm a communication person. All right, I'm a ghostwriter, a writing coach, a copywriter, and I work with Greg on creating video scripting and other materials for our coaching clients that meet their specific marketing needs. We're not into one size fits all around here. We want your marketing to be exactly tailored to what it is that you want to accomplish, who you want to reach, and what they are going to get from working with you. So I've been a lifelong, I call myself a word nerd, because I'm fascinated with what grammar does to support meaning and other esoteric issues that most people find boring. But I love it, and I'm really into how can I support you in getting your idea from your mind onto a page or into another medium and into the minds of others, whether it's one or many, and what's the best, most effective way to do that for everyone concerned. So that's what I do. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fabulous. So as you can tell, we all have different backgrounds here, and we have a similar interest. For example, Bill's target audience is completely different than Esther's and also Betty's. So what our topic today is kind of interesting, creative ways to reach that market. And I think Bill has done some really interesting stuff over the years. Yeah, the other day you were telling us about your the the donut tree that you sold at a garden center.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to talk about that.
You see that there? There we go.
Yeah.
So This was a rather unusual gig that we put together. A couple of old friends who have now passed on. This was a few years back, and we got a bunch of Cheerios, put them in a bag, as you can see there. We called them donut seeds, and we took a picture of a rhododendron bush, put the donuts around the bud of a rhododendron flower, and then we sold these all around wherever I was traveling. And so it was all word of mouth, and I would go into garden shops wherever, what city I was in or what country I was in, and suggest that they might sell these. And we ended up selling 500,000 bags at $4.95 a bag. So it was a remarkable, completely unplanned success. It was wonderful. And half the money went to charities. That's what our part of our plan was right at the beginning. We thought we'd do a few bags. We had no idea that it would go as far as it did. And the only reason that it stopped is because we quit. We didn't want to keep bagging Cheerios and all that. But it was a marvelous example of both word of mouth and using the already existing systems that I was in. So I was teaching in other countries and speaking in other countries and doing my coaching in other places, other provinces, and other countries, of course. And it was fabulous to just leverage off of that and just have some fun with it. And so in that context, you can have a lot of fun. And I think it's important, part of our whole business around what we're doing together here is it has to be fun or it's not worth doing. And most of what we've gone through in the last couple of 3 years has been pretty hard. And I also wanted to give you an example of when things go really wrong, when something horrific happens. Can you leverage out of that horrific example and do something with it? And I had an alarm company I worked with who heard about, now this was an alarm company that mostly did alarms for homes or alarms for businesses. And there was a kidnapping here years ago where a woman was kidnapped and she was taken away from her place of business, retail space. And she was murdered, which was horrific. And it really ripped through the organization and the whole environment and the community. And so when I sat down with the owner of the company, I said, we've got to figure out a way this never happens again. And he had a little, this is back just when GPS was starting to come around. He had little GPSs that you could hang around your neck. So we didn't want to leverage off this woman's death. That would not be appropriate. But we did, we talk about niche marketing, getting an area like a small business where we're going to focus on and bring alarm systems or some kind of systems that could notify the police or whatever. And we went after real estate agents. And we suggested that they buy these, we put them in necklaces and hung them around their neck. And what would happen is if they were a certain amount of footage from their cars or from the house, it would go off and it would track them. And so we sold those, and we took a company that he was trying to sell it for $1 million. We found somebody who was interested, and we thought, if we just change the game a little here, again, going into that niche market conversation and fulfilling a need that we didn't even know was there. It's kind of like the Steve Jobs conversation about giving us phones that have got cameras on them. Like, who would have thought? And when we did that, he was able to sell the company 2 years later, 30 months later, 2.5 years, for $9 million instead of $1 million. So it was a big shift, and it showed and it created a potential outside of even that, we called it a cubbyhole market inside the niche, because it gave us an opportunity to really do something shining and make an impact in the community itself. Open to questions.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so Betty, what is the most interesting marketing fun thing that you've done or helped your clients do?
Oh, let's see. Well, I would have to say getting on this show has been the best one. Because we get to know each other real well, and I can understand more about what people actually want to accomplish. To me, that's the crux of the matter. Anytime I write something, I always want to know, what do you want this to do? So that's this show has been invaluable for that very reason, because in real time, we're talking about the value that you're bringing to your customers, and in most cases to their customers, because most of what we do is business to business, although not all of it. So for marketing stuff, like I really believe in the power of live shows. So I think that's the best one. It's not the only one. Let's see, what else have we done? Oh, that was a tough question, Greg. That was a fun one. How do you quantify that? I think, yeah, doing the broadcast with one of our current clients is fun, because once again, we understand every time that we do it, we understand better what it is that she's doing and get ideas about how we can support her marketing in more creative and effective ways. So
yeah, no, that's good.
That's it. Yeah.
So over the years, the last couple of months, we've had people on here on the show with interesting strategies, including a printable expert who has all sorts of printable stuff that they can mail out and shock and awe, and also somebody who does nothing else other than do voice messaging systems for dental offices. So when people are waiting, they get a little message about the clinic and the services they offer, which is really quite brilliant. So Esther, do you have something that you have explored
In terms of marketing?
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the throes of learning how to market right now with Mind Myself. That's my job. Now that we've created a form that's full of great information, connections to people, and so the next thing is to become really great at social media, work with the right team, see what things work and try them. And our whole plan is to generate momentum. And we've only been live for 7 months, so I'm still in the learning process of it. So any wisdom you have here, I'll be willing to learn.
Okay. Well, we're just, our thing is to get online everywhere as much as possible. That's our total traffic and conversion model, where whenever somebody's wanting to find something, there you are. So that's our mission. But we have Bill and Betty and Roy and I have started a conversation about how to market his art. So maybe we can do some live brainstorming along those lines.
Right. Well, I just want to bring up one other thing, which is that another campaign that we're working on right now. To me, it's fun to find ways to repurpose and integrate things across different mediums. So I'm writing stuff that goes on social media, it goes on the blog, it goes in the video scripting, it goes in the course creation, and seeing how it all integrates and putting it together is actually fun for me, because I'm learning. If I'm not learning, I don't want to do it. Kind of like,
no, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's a kind of creating this whole thing. We're creating a whole star system, really.
Yes, we are.
As we're moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I look at it through my lack of understanding of even how all of that electronic stuff and social media stuff works, it feels daunting. Even when I looked at your website and I looked at, I watched a bunch of your videos, the fact that you guys love that, there's a part of it for me, it puts me in relaxed state, because I don't have to think about it. If I just said, all right, you guys, whatever it's going to take, we'll figure out the money and we'll do all that stuff. But if you're going to take care of all that and you think you can get my product, we're talking right now, my art, out into the world in some way, I'm in. Like whatever that might look like, because you're going to take a bunch of load off my mind. First, I don't have to try to learn it, get not that good at it, or be bad at it and still try it. Instead, I hand it over to a bunch of experts and they take it and run with it. Like, why wouldn't I consider that as a huge upside to take my art out into the world?
Yeah, exactly. So all you need to do is create art and be you. So,
yeah,
I can do that really well.
Yeah, and so we can look after the other details.
Right.
Right. And that resonates with me too, Bill, because I'll tell you, when Greg and Roy started talking about code and different systems and platforms and everything, I'm like, okay, wake me up when you're done. I just can't go there. It's not my thing, you know.
Yeah.
And, but I know that they're experts and that they can support me. And the joy of it is working as a group mind and figuring out solutions together. That's very exciting because we have all this experience between the team and we can leverage it while giving each other a chance to laugh and do amazing stuff. So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and just for the record, an expert is if you take the etymology of the word, Betty, you'll appreciate this. X is an unknown quantity and a spurt's a drip under pressure. So that might really define what you're all about. So.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So one of in terms of art marketing, I've had my toe in that market for a long time, and it's really difficult. I just have to say it's difficult. So the one time, this is like 25 years ago, I said, that's it. I'm never going to take on another artist. I'm not going to, build another website. For one, they don't have any money and blah, and it's hard, So anyway, so the very next day, or was it maybe within an hour of me saying that, somebody I didn't know phoned up and asked if I could help him with his market his art. And so I said, okay. So I went down and I saw his stuff. I went down and he had a big warehouse kind of gallery, and he had a couple hundred large paintings in there. So some of them were, his main thing that he wanted to market were very colorful abstracts. And anyway, what he wanted me to do is to create a little online website with about 20 images, and then he was going to do a mail out campaign. And what he did was and he showed me what he was going to mail. It was kind of a quirky package. It had textures, it had colors, it's very bright, and maybe he had whatever. He mailed it out to thousands of higher end galleries all over North America, and all I did is I created a little website with basically all these mailings, sent it to the website. There is a contact information and samples of about 20 images. Anyway, as a result of that mail out, he ended up getting showings, I think, in New York, Florida, in 3 or 4 other top galleries. And I think that was the end of his marketing campaign. That made his career, more or less. But it was, what my part was just pretty minor of the website is really it was in that almost attention grabbing shock and awe thing that he sent out, physical package that he sent out everywhere. And that's kind of related to what you were doing with the donut tree, Bill.
Yeah. And again, I think there's a real correlation between the way I've run my businesses or grown my businesses in the past and what you guys do, and that all my business has been around word of mouth. Even the art I've sold since I started selling my art in the last few years, it's been word of mouth. Somebody's seen it, they like it, they buy it. So that's kind of cool. But I think what you do is you broaden the horizon of the people that are connected to it, so that it's I don't even know what it'll be, a 10-fold, 100-fold increase, because you'll expose me to more people who can then know me, whether it's through these kinds of conversations or through an interview with me or through a conversation with me by phone or by text or by email, to expand the exposure of my art to other places other than inside my home and an odd art gallery.
Yeah, exactly. I think what we try to do with Total Traffic and Conversion is get a very comprehensive online presence, so that when you meet with somebody, like, if you meet with somebody in a coffee shop, or you get invited to speak on something, or a gallery receives a postcard, when they go online and check, you're everywhere, right? They can find out a lot about you. And I'm pretty sure what we're going to put up online is going to have a lot of your quirky personality, because your art reflects that. And, and if you do, video things and you're leaning towards malaprops, all that kind of.
That was just that the same idea is coming to me, Greg, is
Yeah.
like do a video of Bill walking through his artwork and saying some of these incredibly witty things that he just drops like that, and have that be embedded in the website, and then drive a whole campaign that takes people to the website so that by the time they meet with Bill or speak with Bill, they feel like they already know him, because that's what
I love that. And Bill's sense of humor really, truly is one of his finer qualities. And his big heart. He's a softie. You might not know that at first, but he's a real softie. And he's so multi-talented. He does many, many, many things well.
Yeah.
So there's lots to market.
Right. So we're basically marketing the entire Bill. And so we need to like visualize what kind of a container can we have so that the audience can understand the different facets, because different audiences will be drawn to different parts of what Bill is able to present here. Sorry to speak in the third person about you, Bill, but we're dissecting your marketing.
He's on the hot seat.
Works for me. Works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Bill's art is very colorful. I find a lot of Canadians don't necessarily respond instantly to colorful art, but I think that there's a huge market elsewhere. I mean, there's still some market here in Canada, but I think a lot of people elsewhere appreciate vibrant, colorful, evocative art in ways
California loves it.
Just yet here.
California loves it. So.
Well, and when I pick topics like vulvas and paint them like, large, there's some people that kind of go, whoa, how could that be? And other people are like, I'll take two, not vulvas, pictures, just so we're clear.
Yeah, you said that just as I'm trying to get your website to show some images. Anyway, I think, Vancouver can be a little bit of a tough art market, and other parts of Canada, and certainly during in the US, it's people respond to things in a different way. Like Betty lives in Monterey, and why don't you describe what the art market is like that a little bit? I find something interesting on Bill's site here.
yeah, definitely. Well, Monterey, people think of Monterey as being this progressive, far out place where the Monterey Music Festival happened, and we've got Pebble Beach, we've got the car show, we've got all this kind of stuff, and Carmel, which is like lots and lots and lots of galleries. The truth is, it's a rather conservative area, and what sells in this area in terms of art is mostly landscapes. A very close friend of mine is a painter, and she's actually hanging her show probably today, since we're talking about her. And she paints wonderful landscapes that people love. And she also has a brilliant mind for abstract and not portraits, but human figures and things like that. She's working on trying to break into that level of people's consciousness in the market. What people are really looking for when they're cruising around in Monterey is landscapes, and particularly something that's a souvenir that they can hang on their wall and somebody can say, oh, that's so pretty. Where did you get that? And then they start talking about Monterey, which is famous for its natural beauty, the ocean, the cultural landscape, including works of literature, Steinbeck, and so on. So it's conservative. If you wanted to sell something that's more vibrant, then say a blue landscape or a marinescape. She's having success with boats now because she's like, I can't just paint trees forever. I need more, right? So boats are good. But if you want something if you want to sell things that are outside of the box, so to speak, of that type of thinking about what art is here, the Bay Area would probably be better. The Los Angeles is wide open. You can sell just about anything in Los Angeles because there's so many different kinds of people, and there's undoubtedly other areas in the state that haven't crossed my mind yet that would be receptive to more adventurous types of art. That's my kind of a take on where it is that I live and what people are looking for around here. So.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not a landscape guy.
No.
No.
There's one story about New York City. Says no matter how weird your tastes are, you can find a shop that sells that stuff and a competitor across the street.
That is true about New York. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much denser. LA is spread out wide. It takes you an hour to drive across the city, no matter which direction. So
yeah.
And
those cities has its own personality too.
Yeah. The Southwest is a very rich place for art too.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to show you the website here.
Yeah. Actually, you mentioned that. Now you mentioned that, Greg. A friend of mine married a painter and moved to New Mexico, and he does abstracts and things that they have this. Anyway, he's doing well there.
Yeah, and there's the prices are up at the range we like.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So here we go. Eclectic, enigmatic, and evolving. There you go. That's that personality thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then here are some examples. And Bill, I think you said you have quite a few pieces.
I got a couple of hundred.
A couple of hundred, yeah. And they're not just paintings. You use all sorts of media.
Correct.
Yeah.
In fact, what you just went through there was a body cast that we did. Esther actually helped me with that. It was quite amazing. We had a very lovely pregnant woman who was very modest. And so I'm trying to get plaster on a naked body and breasts. And so Esther actually came in and covered parts up so that they weren't completely exposed until I could come in and finish off doing the plaster cast. But yeah, so I've got those kinds of things as well. Those were really fun. I did a couple of those. They were quite amazing. And they're painted unusually.
Yeah.
Because the body that we did it on, her partner was from Africa. So we actually did a very rich texture on the plaster cast and on the body cast itself. And then painted the continent of Africa on one part of it, so that it's very cool.
There we go.
Yeah, I again, when we talk about niche marketing, so people that like plaster casts, whoa, that'd be great. Well, the problem is it's now narrowed it right down to somebody that likes Africa as on top of having a body cast from a pregnant woman. So.
Greg, you mentioned Bill has several hundred paintings. So what the selection that you just showed, that's just the selection from the homepage. Did you explore further in the site to see the choices section? Because there are probably at least 150, and they're all pieces of art, and they're all under different categories. So
Goodbye,
that
bland.
shows you there are about a dozen.
Okay, are you seeing this?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Nope,
okay,
not yet.
Okay. There we go. I gotta put this. Boom.
Yeah. So the choices, that's just the basic. That's interesting that there should be a menu across the top that tells you which kind of choices you want. There we go.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Abstract, acrylic on canvas, aurora borealis. So you can pick any one of those.
So what do you suggest?
So
Where's the
for diversity, I would say try multimedia, and then we can come back to another one.
Okay. All right.
And then you scroll down there and you'll see a diversity of different media that he's created.
Yeah, the bookshelf is kind of cool.
Even
It's a bunch of broken shelves that I affixed to a 5/8 thick piece of acrylic and then screwed it to the wall. So it's actually portable. You can move it around. Holds a couple hundred books.
Okay.
And then if you look at Dexter the Dragon, that's the red background. He has something, that picture has something in common with Winnie the Pooh and Smokey the Bear and Alexander the Great. Actually, they all have something in common, which is the same middle name, just the same.
Okay. So one of my jokes is sort things alphabetically by middle name.
Yeah. You'll be in trouble with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thus.
Yeah, that cabinet, the flaming curved cabinet, that was a prototype we decided to try to build. We had so much fun making that. It has flames on the side, black flames on both sides. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
And
it's lit.
And it's lit.
It's lit from underneath. Yep.
Crazy. Wow. I love this. This is very, very nice. And you know, I'm seeing each one of these pieces can go in a different direction. Some of them would even fly in our conservative area marketplace. Others would not.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, they're just gorgeous.
Like this one, the Odin might go.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Odin, anything that's related to trees, because like I said, in Monterey and in Big Sur, it's all about the tourist market. I mean, we're
Yes.
absolutely overrun with tourists who want something that says, I've been to Monterey, when they get back to Chicago or whatever it is.
If you look at textured white, it was just about, that on the left side there.
Yeah.
I'm getting a bit of a call to have those types of things made as well. They're just heavy texture. Can't put it on canvas because it pulls the canvas off the frame. So it's on plywood.
Yeah.
All edged and everything. Yeah. And I've got one client who's got me one white, one big, huge black one that I'm working on now, and then a smaller black one. And her whole house is black and white. And it's kind of cool. Looks kind of neat.
That is cool.
And
So
then, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I think you have your art in some interesting places, not just people's homes too, I think. Is that true?
I have my art in, lots of homes.
Yeah.
Stretch across Canada. I don't think I have any commercial.
You have
No, I don't.
something in the place in Maple Ridge. You had your stuff for a year. You also have some in Falkaway in the store.
Yes, yeah. There's an almost art gallery for Bill up in Falkaway, which is a little town outside of Nakusp, in the south of the Kootenays, that has a bunch of my pieces, which is really quite fun. It's the coolest thing. I mean, I'm sure some artists would go a little nuts, but right above the bags of chips is one of my pieces of art. It's very cool. It's kind of neat. So he's getting a lot of interest. It's only been up for a few months, and he's getting lots of interest. And he's got truck drivers going back and forth. And one guy's been looking at one who really wants to pick up that one piece that's above the freezer. So
that's just down from the golf course with the giant motorcycle, right?
Yeah, it's actually, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a less flattering alternate pronunciation of the name, but we'll stick with yours.
I thought we would leave that alone today, given this is a live broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy saying it in crowds, and they go, "Where?"
Yeah. What did you say? Yeah, because if you saw it spelled, that's the way you'd pronounce it. But anyway, I guess what I was thinking of is that you've been talking with an organization about having your work in a hospital.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. There was a conversation that I had at a luncheon. They did a mayor's state of the city. And there was a conversation about some buildings that are going up on the site, and they're quite interested in some custom work for that, as well as I have another arrow in my quiver. I'm also an auctioneer, and they want me to be at their gala and sell whatever they've got from a live auction perspective. So I'm very excited about that. That just happened last week, which was very cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. And like some of I can see your work being in hotels and other places, embassies. So
yeah, I think you're right. Some of it, especially since I have the capacity, I did a set of wings for a really dear friend of ours, a couple friend, and they're 10 feet high and 7 feet wide, and they're a set of wings, and they're beautiful. They're just lovely. And she gets to the mom. They've got 3 kids, and the mom loves looking at them. She comes down the stairs every day, and they're hung in the living room, and she gets to see them every day. So that's kind of cool. So that's a big piece. Not a lot of homes can take that kind of size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig, back to Bill's website for a moment. Another category to look under choices would be acrylic on canvas. That'll give you the broadest spectrum of his work. So some might be in a couple categories, because this shows much of it. Then he has some other, if you do choices, and then acrylic on canvas, that'll give kind of the broad range. So some of those abstract would be really appropriate for hotels or businesses or whatever who like that sort of thing. And the Aurora Borealis ones, that's actually about 12 feet long and weighs about 300 pounds, and it's stunning. This Aurora Borealis one, if you click on it, it will open up to show the whole thing. Number one.
Oh, the one.
Number one, yeah.
Okay, one, yeah.
That's how long it is. That's a piano top underneath it.
Okay.
So, and that's just a little thing. So it's a beautiful, and those trees are structured. They're actually rusted metal.
Yeah, that comes in 2 pieces. And then when it's hung on the wall, it's done with a French cleat. So again, we can install that just about anywhere. And it is beautiful with it being 12 feet long and 3 feet high.
Yeah. Banff Spring Hotel.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, that's fabulous. Any other ideas that people have here? I can see oh yeah, never mind. So Betty,
So as you've
typing
both said, is someone else going to say
No,
something?
go ahead, Esther.
Okay, as you've all said, the key is getting Bill's beautiful art in front of the right people, and so trusting your expertise to say, great, this is how we get it into this particular market, or this is how we get it noticed. Because I can live in a beautiful art gallery, but I'd love to get his work out to the world. It's too beautiful not to.
Yeah, I agree. His work is very beautiful. And the comment about getting into hospitals and markets like that reminds me of someone that I knew. I'm out of touch with her now, but she markets to corporate environments, hospitals, and things like that. So, and Bill, you've got the portfolio. So, and particularly textured pieces like that sell well in such environments often. They want something that has related themes and so on. But, if you're redecorating a wing of a hospital or a doctor's office or a professional environment, then you got a lot of latitude. And I just got another idea. A friend of mine who works with Google decorating their office environments, who I need to get back in touch with. And so I would talk to her and say, what are you guys looking for? I mean, she what her thing is doing their living walls that they're famous for, but they also need other stuff in their environments. And so we could tap on her expertise for not necessarily Google, but for any high level corporate environment where people need something relaxing and stimulating for their creativity. These abstracts and things like that would be fabulous for that.
Yeah, I've worked with companies in the past, had a long relationship with a company in town where they were contracted to build something for this insurer who did mostly automobiles, and we had to come in and do some amazing things. We used a V8 engine, put it on its end, painted it all weird, put a big, huge glass top on it. It was a table, and those kinds of things. We did a coffee table in their lunchroom that was a tire that we put the wheel back in the tire at an angle so that the wheel was at a funny angle, and yet the tabletop it looked fabulous, and it was done with a wheel and a tire. Like those kind of things I have got people I can work with to achieve what we might want in terms of custom work as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas here.
Yeah, I just remembered what I was going to say.
Oh, there we go.
Esther and Bill, you had dinner with Anne Pentland
Yes.
when we met in Vancouver.
Yes.
Anyway, the property in North Vancouver, like she's a gardener, it's just fabulous. Sort of a land like decorative flower garden or whatever in the front, and then she got into vegetables, so the whole boulevard in the back is all vegetables. So you've got the 100-foot diet. But we had the yard in an art in the garden tour. The North Vancouver Arts Council has this. It's one of these amazing things, and so they have a nice garden. They usually put 2 or 3 artists in there and musicians. And so we ran it. I played in a band in the yard, and we had somebody, I think his name was George Kennedy, and he made kind of funky stuff that somewhat like yours, like very colorful, imaginative. I think Anne bought $4,000 worth of his stuff, so it was a costly garden show. But it was things that are in the garden and in the house and stuff. And
Yeah.
The whole house we had some 2 artists from South Africa painted a coral reef theme in the bathroom in there, and one wall's mostly all a big mural too. So
I love it.
So you should make an excuse to go over and visit sometime.
I don't need much of one. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
I have some of my art hanging in our backyard.
Totally.
I put it against the walls under the eaves, but it's outdoors and it looks fabulous. It's acrylic. I put some epoxy over top, but it's beautiful. I just love it. Looks great.
Awesome. Yeah, so there's all sorts of. I think what I really like about what I'm looking forward to with working with you is because it's going to be a lot of fun. We can explore a lot of different ways, and you've got a lot of innovative ways of approaching things, and we can come up with some ideas, and we'll get and then just the online presence, we can have a lot of fun with that too. So
cool.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
You will always have. If you develop social media stuff with Bill and there's any kind of video, you'll always have laughter.
Yeah. There we go.
That's what to do. Yeah.
I have a really good quote, and it goes like this: once you get past my charm, good looks, intelligence, and my sense of humor, I think what you'll see that stands out most is my modesty. So there you have it.
Yes. Well, false modesty is very unbecoming. So well done, Yeah.
Case in point. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Franklin
with puns.
Yeah. One of Ben Franklin's advice was be modest like Jesus, which makes you think about a bit about what definition of what he had in mind with be humble like Jesus.
Yeah. And look where that got him. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, no. Anyway, so that brings me to another point. One of the reasons why people like abstract art is it's not political or religious or any of those other things.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some truth to that. I also think, like even in most art, although if it's a landscape or if it's a very specific set of flowers or something like that, or if it's a dragon like that's over my shoulder, okay, it's got a very specific image and you can make some comments about it. But when it's abstract, it can mean so much to so many people, and it changes the next time they come in and the light hits it differently, and all of a sudden you got a whole new conversation. So there is something pretty cool about it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you told us a story about that your vulva image. When you explained that to somebody, he never saw it the same way again.
Yes.
Completely altered his world.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Some people have never been that up close and personal. What can I say?
Okay, do we have any comments from our audience?
It's very lively discussion.
Discussion. So, so you got there we go. It's Bill Chalmers art.ca. You'll keep people busy exploring those things for a while, and then I'm going to go make their way down to visit Bill and Esther and take some more photos and video, and we'll have even more things to show.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Great.
Any last piece of advice? Comments? One last joke?
I could say I'm sorry for the things my face said as you were talking, but that's a completely separate conversation as well.
Yeah, it has been very, very awesome and amusing and thought-provoking. Now I'm really starting to get the ideas pouring in. I think right before we went on air, we said something about chaos being the nature of creativity.
Yeah.
And since my brand is the Writer's Launchpad, I know about packaging chaos and putting it together to come out in a specific way and get some momentum. So that's
Cool.
where we are now, is building that container.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's the image. And
It's just so exciting. It's an exciting time, and it's I hold the possibility of what is to come, because I think this is going to generate a lot of connection, and I'm all about connection.
I am too. I'm really glad to meet you, Esther.
Yeah.
My driver is connection, so here we are.
And here we are.
Very cool.
Awesome.
And my phone is ringing. Maybe that's a good time for us to
It's a signal.
run the video and say goodnight, Irene. I don't know.
Here they come.
All right. Take care. Thank you very much for including me, and I look forward to our journey.
Yeah. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
enjoy your weekend.
You
There we
too.
go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.